I just wanted to come on here and provide a little update on my portfolio, on my investment portfolio that is now worth over $100,000 Canadian. But before we get into it, something that I am going to say to anybody who comes across this video is that if saving and investing is a priority for you and you have been deliberating or thinking too much about it, I think the only advice that I have to give you is to start. When you start, you learn and you grow. You learn and you figure things out along the way. You're never going to know it all, no matter how long you wait. Right. So I started my own journey a little over 5 years ago. And even after 5 years, I am still learning and I am still growing and I am still building my portfolio. I started at zero and today I have over $100,000. That is something I did not think was possible. First of all, I also did hit that mark earlier this year, and honestly, it happened in less than 5 years, which for me I think is pretty impressive considering that I have never made a six-figure income since moving here to Canada. I only have been able to influence the one thing that I can control, which is my costs, my expenses, my housing costs. I know how crazy rental is in Canada. If you're trying to buy a home or you're even renting, it's crazy. Inflation is eating away at everything. Grocery prices is over the roof. But somehow I was able to manage to still make this happen, and it makes me happy. I am impressed with how much work I have put into it. And when I see how hard I did work to actually get to this point, I don't take it for granted. And joking with this, the last thing I'm going to do is joke with the opportunity that I have today, right? So the last thing I'm going to do is you see this money, I start gambling with it, investing in risky assets, investing in risky stocks that I do not understand the fundamentals or how to value them. I am still learning. I still watch a lot of finance YouTubers. I still read a lot of finance books. But while I am doing that, I get to dabble in some individual stocks. But majority of my investment portfolio is still invested in ETFs. I hold VFV and I hold QQC. Those are the two ETFs that I hold. And then I have some shares of Apple. I have some shares of Google. I have about, I think, one share of Tesla. And I think that's pretty much the individual stocks that I own. And then I also hold Enbridge. But all these stocks are actually the total amount, all of them is still very insignificant compared to the total value of my portfolio. So let's get into it. Let's take a look at what I hold in my portfolio just for the sake of transparency. I want to put my finances out there. I want to continue to do that in hopes that I can learn from other people. So feel free, if you come across this video, you take a look at my portfolio, feel free to share your thoughts. I want to hear, I want your opinion on what you think I'm doing wrong, what you think I can do better, because ultimately all I want to do is grow and learn from the people who know better in this space. So taking a look at my Wealthsimple account as at today, just because of the pullback in the stock market, my portfolio is down about $2,000 on Wealthsimple. So right now I have $68,816. And what accounts do I hold this amount in? I have a checking account. But my major accounts are the TFSC, the FHSC, the RRSP, and then I have a non-registered account, which I also hold a little amount of money in. But like majorly, the accounts where I have funds here is the TFSC and the FHSC. And then if we go to my Questrade account, I have 35,132 here. And the accounts that I hold here are, I hold the TFSA account as well with almost 11,000. And then I also hold an RRSP here. I have not been prioritizing my RRSP just because most of the jobs that I have done in the past did not offer employee matching contribution. And then I also have an FHSA account here as well with a little over 16,000. So these are the accounts that I hold. If we come back to my Wealthsimple, what do I have invested here? In my FHSA, I just have QQC and VFV. That's the two holdings there. And then this account is up 26%. And my CFSA, it's up all time 20,000, 54%, which is really impressive if you ask me. And then these are the things that I hold here. I have Enbridge with 1,700. And I recently bought gold with the new announcements on Wealthsimple. I just bought $100 worth of gold. I'm not really interested in holding gold. But then here is where my major investment lie. QQC, I have one share of Tesla, and then VFV again with a bulk of my money. Right. So this is what I'm invested in Wealthsimple. And then in Questrade, this is also one of the accounts that's one of the brokerages that I opened when I first started investing. And I did a lot of dabbling in here. So you're going to see lots of different positions here. So I have a little bit of Google share. This is okay. I have Apple. I have just 2 shares of Apple, and then I have Google. I hold 22 shares of Google. This is a recent investment from last year. I think sometime around November. And this one credit to Joseph Carlson. The inspiration to buy into Google was from him. He said a lot about the share and how cheap it was, and eventually it turned out to be true. And then I also have QQQM. This is also the Nasdaq 100, which is the same thing as the QQC. So a lot of duplication in my portfolio, but eventually this thing I will eventually have to streamline and just remove all the duplication. And then VGT is also a tech ETF, and VHT is the healthcare ETF. VOO, that's still the S&P 500, similar to VFV. But when I first started investing, I was just buying VFV, VOO, but now I just buy VFV. So I do away with the duplication, not having to worry about exchange rate fluctuations or anything like that. So this is the holdings in my portfolio. And if you have a look here, I have 17,208 Canadian dollars in cash in this account, in this entire brokerage. And this is deliberate. My hope is to take advantage of any pullbacks in the stock market. Everybody has been talking about a recession that is coming. So I'm waiting, right? But if that doesn't happen, I'm most likely going to invest this money in individual stocks and, well, a decent amount of them, and then maybe still just invest a bulk in ETF as well. So this is my investment portfolio. Nothing very fancy, just me investing in ETFs, just saving money. And I am hoping that from here on out, my portfolio will continue to do very well. I will continue to invest in the right stocks and ETFs just to get market returns and maybe take advantage of any opportunities that will arise in the stock market with certain individual companies, right? So I'm still learning what I'm doing here. This is all still new to me, and I am amazed at the success that I have seen with my portfolio. So if there's anything to take away from this video, it is to start investing. You don't have to make it complicated. Just invest in ETFs. And if you're still very itchy to invest in individual stocks, do it wisely and research the companies that you want to invest in. And again, start with a little amount from your portfolio. Don't go in big when it comes to individual companies, because you might be wrong, especially when you're starting out. So if you're very confident about a particular company, yeah, then sure. But a lot of smart investors that I know and I have seen, they never go all in on any one company. So that is something that you might want to to take into consideration as you begin your own investment journey. So good luck, and I will see you in the next video.